Hi, my name is Dae-hee An, and I am a violinist at the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. So we're going to talk about shifting. Shifting basically is going from one place to another. So when we shift, we want to make sure that the movement is as effortless and hidden as possible so that we are not drawing the attention of our listeners to our shifts. Since shifting involves the movement of your hand, it's very important to hold your instrument very securely. Like this, where my violin is not going to move when I shift. So after holding your violin securely, you can think about the position that you're shifting to. This will help you find a good guide note. Let me demonstrate this. So if I start out in the first position and move to the third position, using my first finger on first position and third finger on third position, I want to know ahead of time so that I know that my guide note is going to be a D. This is with the guide note being audible. This is shift without the guide note as audible. You want to shift with the same finger that you last played. So again, when I go from the first position to the third, first finger on first and third finger on third, I want to initiate my shift with the first finger going up and then third finger going down because that's the last finger that I played with. The last guideline is, in order for the shift to be not as audible, you want to loosen up a bit before you move. This is almost how loose my finger is when I shift. Now let me talk about some of the common mistakes that students make when they're shifting. First is that when the instrument is not held securely, the act of moving is pretty scary. So instead of shifting, they actually jump. So you want to make sure that your shift is always smooth and that your entire hand is moving together, including your thumb. The second is stopping the bow when you're shifting. Similar to the jumping, it breaks the sound. So you want to make sure your bow is always continuous when you are actually shifting. So shifting is a very difficult technique and it requires a lot of practice. You would probably do a lot of trial and error at first because you're teaching your fingers to know your violin and how much to move and memorize that distance. But with good practice, you'll be able to shift really well.